What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today we're me going over all the latest Destiny news and things going on with the game and Bungie. So they've been pretty quiet recently because obviously they've been on holiday. A lot of people are off during the holiday season, but there have been quite a few things that have popped up recently that I want to talk about, like what's next for Destiny, when are Bungie going to announce some things, and even why Xur has been broken for the past few weeks. So a lot of things I see you guys asking me about on Twitter and my comments that I wanted to go over. So firstly, let's talk about what's next for Bungie and Destiny and when we can expect some more news and announcements and events for 2017. So as I said, Bungie are back from their break, and they said they'll have another This Week at Bungie blog post on the 12th, so next Thursday they'll be back into the swing of things. Obviously they won't be doing any major reveals. They said they'll resume the conversation about the rituals that return to Destiny week over week and month over month. Thank you for joining us for another trip around the sun. We've got a year of adventure planned for you. So always nice to hear, and one would assume this year of adventure they've got planned is referring to Destiny 2, which of course is still on track releasing later this year. But in terms of what they will be talking about, of course they're going to be mentioning Iron Banner. They mentioned the rituals returning to Destiny. I remember one of the last blog posts of last year, they said they will be announcing the next Iron Banner in the first blog post of the year. So on Thursday, expect to find out the date and the weapons and the game mode of next Iron Banner of January. If I was to make my predictions, I'm going to guess it's probably going to be on the 17th, the Tuesday, and the hand cannon will probably be up for sale, seeing it's the only primary we haven't had yet. It will most likely be the game mode Clash, seeing as we've had Supremacy and then Control and then Rift. So Iron Banner, that's something to expect on Thursday when Bungie do another blog post. And seeing as we've got currently no roadmap as for what to expect in terms of events or content, or even a reveal for Destiny 2, we probably are going to be getting some kind of teaser for some kind of event. My best guess would be some kind of upgraded version of Crimson Days. I think that event will be probably coming back. Seeing as it's a free thing, it's easy to implement. They've already done it, but I'm hoping they kind of implement it in a slightly better way, a bit bigger and better. More stuff to do, so probably something like Crimson Days. And then hopefully they'll mention some kind of bigger event like an April update, possibly, but who knows, we'll have to find out on Thursday, and of course I'll keep you guys up to date. So next up, let's talk about Xur, who's definitely been going through some issues recently. Has had a lot of people very confused as to what's going on. So essentially, there's a problem with his inventory and what Bungie want him to sell, and he's been broken for basically the past month and not bringing what he's supposed to. So with the Dawning, Bungie had Xur sell more heavy ammo, so they increased the stack to 10, and then later they decided to also add back the 3 stack as an option if you want to buy a smaller quantity in addition to the 10 stack, which is of course a much bigger amount. But then in place of that extra heavy ammo stack, he stopped selling 3 of coins, and the next week was the same, again none of them, and now this week there's no glass needles, so very confusing. Essentially it appears that Xur's been coded to only carry 5 items in this middle row, and then when they added the extra heavy option, it basically pushed the 3 of coins out by accident, and this isn't Bungie getting rid of 3 of coins. It's absolutely not the case. I know a lot of people, including myself, not really a fan of 3 of coins, what they've done to the exotic grind, but this definitely is not Bungie's way of removing 3 of coins. It's simply a bug, but they fixed it again and got them to sell 3 of coins, but this time it pushed out the glass needles, which is pretty funny, and it seems like Xur's backpack can only carry a certain amount of items. It's almost like a balancing act, and the extra heavy ammo stack is basically interfering with him selling the other 3 of coins and glass needles, as well as those 2 Sparrow drives. So Bungie are aware of the issue and the bug, and they said they will next week have glass needles again on sale for him. I'm assuming it was because Bungie were on holiday, and the kind of people that code Xur and could fix a bug like this are probably on holiday, but I'd imagine they're back fixing it now. So they'll probably just code him to either hold 6 items in this row, or if you ask me, probably just get rid of one of the Sparrow drives, not really needed anyway. But either way, coding is very complicated and bugs happen, but that is the deal with Xur for those asking. It's not Bungie's way of getting rid of 3 of coins. They're not planning on doing that unless they'll announce it, and it isn't some kind of conspiracy or experiment. It's simply a bug. He can't carry more than 5 items on this row. So there you go. That is what's happening with Xur and why he's been broken. So something else pretty strange that happened earlier this week when the Dawning ended was to do with the tower, and I'm sure all of you have noticed by now, but obviously the back of the tower is now open, which is pretty cool and also very random and strange in itself to just open when the Dawning ends. They probably did it simply just to revive the dead ghost there. For any new players, there's actually a dead ghost on the railing, which of course gives you Grimmar. So if any new players will be missing out on that Grimmar, you can now obtain it. And that's something I mentioned before Rise of Iron launched. If they kept the door closed and Iron Banner is now in Felwyn to Peak, the new players wouldn't be able to grab that dead ghost and be missing out on Grimmar. So them opening it is probably for that purpose. And it's always nice to have another area in the tower to go. But there you go. If you're new to Destiny, if you're missing the ghost, you can now grab it on the very back of the railing. So the next thing I want to talk about is to do with what happens now the Dawning is over. I've got a lot of questions asking how you're supposed to get the Thunderlord since the gifts are gone, and how you get the Icebreaker, how you're supposed to use Sparrow Racing and complete the record book. The answers to all of those are actually very easy. Everything is still obtainable. The only difference is the Dawning is now over as an event. There's no decorations and snow in the tower, and you can't rank up SRL as a ranking at gear, and you can't also matchmake SRL. But other than that, the icebreaker is still the exact same. You can still get the bounties from Zavala and do the Sunrise bounty. The Thunderlords are a little bit more complicated, but as I covered before the Dawning, these are still obtainable. So when you hit rank 7 in your record book, as normal you get Zer's tag, but obviously you now can't use that on the gift, which is now gone from the back of the tower. So instead the quest, which is the Tattered Schematic as an item, that's going to drop for you randomly from killing enemies. So it sounds strange, but just play normal PvE activities, so things like Archon's Forge, the Raid, the Strikes, and if you are rank 7 in the book, the quest will simply drop for you as one of those little triangle things that you pick up, and then of course you get the quest done, you can complete it as normal, and get the Nova Mortis and Abaddon, and I'll link in the description my guide on how to complete the quest if you still want to know. Now, in terms of completing the record book, you can also still do that in private matches, but by yourself this time. So all the nodes, you can just hop into an SRL game by yourself. You can just race nobody and get them done. They do still count. Obviously, it's going to be very easy because you're not racing anyone. You're just going to be racing by yourself, no competition, no one bumping you or kicking you off the track. So it should be pretty simple to get those nodes done and get you rank 7 in the book. And then once you do that, of course, you can get the item to begin the Thunderlord quests. So other than that, the strike scoring, of course, is still there. The Nightfall, the Treasures of the Dawning as a reward for the weekly strike. It's all still the same, so nothing really to worry about. And that's the nice thing about the Dawning event. It doesn't all disappear, and most of it still sticks around apart from the decorations and the snow, of course. A lot of people would have been on holiday or not playing Destiny or playing other games over the Christmas break. So it's nice to see that all this stuff is still available and basically everything done just like the decorations. So there you have it, that is a roundup of all the latest news and things worth knowing about Destiny and recently and what's coming up. Hopefully it's answered a lot of the commonly asked questions. Of course, any more news or announcements, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and you can of course click the bell to turn on notifications for when I upload and never miss a video. But as always, if you enjoyed, a like rating would be much appreciated, and I'll see you guys in the next one.